Hi everyone, this is Coach Lana checking in, and today you get workout hair again. Right on! Okay, so this is day 17 of 31. Today we're going to talk about carbs, fats, and proteins, how much do you need each day. And I want to thank you so much for watching this video. If this is the first one you've ever watched, I most appreciate it. You can apply what we're talking about one day, 1 week, 1 month, the rest of your life. It's up to you. Take it with a grain of salt. And understand that a lot of the information comes from lots of different sources, and information changes all the time. So if there's anything you need to dig deeper on, you think you're interested in, Google it, learn a little more about it, and let me know what you find out. So let's get started. Lots of stuff. Okay, I have my notes because I want to make sure I stay on track, and this one has a lot of percentages and grams and blah, blah, blah. So I want to make sure I don't say the wrong amounts. If you do not want to hear me reading some of my notes, just look at my notes below and read that. You can stop this video right now. Okay? And you don't have to look at my crazy hair. All right. So anyway, how much do I need? When deciphering what is a balanced diet, I need to be true to myself. And really that is on how my brain works. I'm a very visual person. So the first technique on how to decipher what your plate should look like today, I'm actually going to use choosemyplate.gov, which comes from the USDA. So their guidelines are very appealing to my eye. So when I'm setting up my food, I can think I have a little bit of everything. Everything looks good. So I'm a very visual person. So if I look at my plate, I should have half of it fruits and vegetables, and the other half is protein and whole grains. So their daily recommendations are, and I think this is really funny because they have the plate and then they have a little cup of milk on the side. And I'm gonna go off on a tangent right there. I'm sorry, I'm totally. So 3 cups of dairy. Now I'm not sure what vegans are supposed to do. I would probably just add that into my protein for the day. But I've heard, because I've taken some workshops from some nutritionists and some people who said the reason that the dairy is the glass is the dairy industry actually got a little bit ticked off that dairy wasn't mentioned specifically in the protein section, and they lobbied to have the little glass of milk there. So whatever, I just think it's a really funny story that someone told me. Thought I'd share it with you. Chill out, dairy industry, okay? Take a Valium. Anyway, so it's 3 cups of dairy, and then we move on to 2 to 3 cups of vegetables, 1.5 to 2 cups of fruit, 5 to 6.5 ounces of protein. They always give protein in ounces. So we got fish, eggs, meat, poultry, and they didn't ever mention any other proteins. So hello, I mean we got soy, edamame, but that's okay. I understand. Nobody likes the vegans. 5 to 8 ounces of whole grains, 5 to 7 teaspoons of sweets, fats, and oils per day. So that's my plate. Looking at my plate, getting a visual. Another method, and it's actually also from the USDA. It's just a different representation of it. I got it from livestrong.com. Sorry. So they give 45 to 65% carbohydrates. So that includes whole grains, fruits, and vegetables. It's one big clump. So you need to be careful that you don't overdo the grains and underdo the fruits and vegetables. 10 to 35% protein, which is what we discussed in a previous video. So it's good, we're on track. And 20 to 35% from fat. Now, so let's just quickly touch on how are you going to figure out all this stuff. In my previous video on protein, do you remember how we figured out how many calories we need a day? We figured out what our percentage is supposed to be. So if you're a percentage person, you're going to need to be able to do this calculation. And then we figured out how do I take that percentage of those calories and make them into grams. Not going to go over it again here. So if you want to figure that out, Google how do I figure out how many grams of protein do I need a day. And you can figure it that way. Or you can go back to my protein video and look at the notes and I lay out an example. What you're going to need to know is we only talked about protein in that video. Protein is 4 grams. Protein is 4 grams. Sorry, I wanted to make sure I say it correctly because I don't, am I supposed to be saying grams? No, calories, sorry. Protein is 4 calories. My mind was like, that is wrong. Protein is 4 calories, fat is 10 calories, and carbohydrates are 9 calories. So when you want to figure out percentages, when you want to figure out how many grams is this, you have to know those 3 quantities, and they're in my notes below. All right, so we have picture with some cups, we have percentages, now we have serving size. Some people, they want to know, well, how many serving sizes should I have in this meal? What does a serving size look like? So in terms of serving size, I got this information from heart.org, and they got a little bit more specific. They're actually a little stricter in some areas too, so it's very interesting. 6 to 8 servings of whole grains, 4 to 5 servings of vegetables, 4 to 5 servings of fruit, 2 to 3 servings of dairy, 3 to 6 ounces of cooked meat, poultry, or seafood, 2 to 3 servings of fats and oils per day. Then they have a per week. So 4 to 5 servings of nuts, seeds, legumes, and 5 or fewer for sweets and added sugars. And I would actually kind of argue as a vegan about the nuts and legumes, but if you're healthy and you're eating meat and dairy and all that, 45 is probably enough. So let's talk about serving size. I'm going to push my notes down just a little bit so I make sure I'm on track. You need to know what a serving size looks like. From eating at Claim Jumper and supersizing everything at McDonald's, we have a very distorted look of what a serving size looks at. So 1/2 cup of cooked grains is about a cupped palm. Okay, 1 piece of fruit, size of probably tennis ball. 1/4 cup of dried fruit. A 1/4 cup is teeny weeny. 1 cup of leafy greens. You have all you want of leafy greens. 1/2 cup cooked or frozen canned legumes. 1/2 cup. Very small. You need to take a cup out and look at it. 3 ounces of meat, which is the size of a deck of cards. 3 ounces of meat is the size of a deck of cards. That's small. Think about it. 1 egg, 1 ounce of cheese, which is actually the size of 2 9-volt batteries. Very tiny. 1/3 cup of nuts, which I am. If you can't tell, I don't know why I'm so hyper today. It's like a very small handful. Okay, so these are lots of different, the ratios are similar, but slightly different. So not only do you need to look at which one do you connect with, but you also need to look at, are these quantities right for me? Because the different ratios of, 10% to 35% is kind of a big range. So you need to look at you. What's going to make you feel good? What's going to help you reach your goal? And what's going to help feed you? Right? Male, female, postmenopausal, athletic, suffering from injuries, illness, under stress. All these things are going to affect how many calories you need, and they're also going to affect, they're going to affect how many calories you need. That's all it's going to affect. One thing you want to take into consideration, these are all-day recommendations for most of these. This is how much you need per day. When you look at each meal, you need a combination of fats, carbs, and protein. Don't just eat all carbs one meal, all protein another meal. They need to work together. Granted, they can still work together if you eat them all in one day, but they work much better together when you eat them in one meal. You have to have carbohydrates to get the protein nutrients, the power, the energy to the muscles. The fat helps to conduct all of this too. All right, so I want you to decide what method or thought process speaks to you. What combination sounds like it's right for you? And look back at your food log. If you haven't already been keeping one, I want you to take a day and look at what you're eating and see, do you think you're on track or do you need to make some adjustments? All right, so that's my 2 cents for today. Take it or leave it. Google it if you need more information. This is Coach Lana, and I'm out of here.